Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. I'm your girl, the Mystic Mover. And if you don't know me, I'm the voice behind Soul Said So podcast. And today I'm diving deeper into thoughts, the thought world, the mind. The mind is truly what runs everything else. The heart is keeping you alive and making sure that you're breathing and you're able to operate. But the mind is the captain of the ship, okay? And so today I wanted to talk about not being led by any negative thoughts. I wanted to talk about that because I've experienced it personally recently. I think this year has been a year where I had to consistently be intentional about what I was allowing myself to think, what I was allowing myself to mentally entertain, and how sometimes I just had to catch my thoughts, reverse them back, and the whole process, it can be done, okay, for you to shift your thinking, but it is very intentional, and I think that it is very necessary, especially when you are a person who believes in purpose and believe in every gift and every dream, even if it has not physically manifested for you yet. A person who is a true believer in themselves, it is very, very, very important. And I say this because negative thinking will not stop when you think you make it to a certain level. When you think you get the new job, when you think you move to the new city, or when you, whatever it is that you are desiring, and you think that you're going to somehow magically never have to think or deal with a negative thought ever again, and that's not true. So even in the times where you are faced with most of, you know, uncomfortable thinking, unpleasant thoughts, that is the time for you to learn how to start redirecting, start practicing changing those thoughts, because it's not going to ever go away if you do not start learning how to redirect it. So, what do I mean when I say don't be led by your negative thoughts? You can have a thought, you could be having a great day, great week, great month, great year, and then a thought presents itself to you that puts you in a state of fear or a state of shock, a state, just a reminder of a place that you don't want to be. And when that thought comes to you, how you respond to the thought is what's going to determine if that thought breaks into your heart energy. Once that thought gets into your heart energy, it shifts your whole frequency, your whole body, your whole mood. And that's why you could be on such a high and everything could be all good, but the moment that this negative thought presents itself, now you're in doubt, you're in fear, you're feeling like an imposter and all these different things. But when a negative thought reaches right here and presents itself to you, most of the time what is happening is the body is sending a response out to you to let you know that there is something here of concern. So really and truly, it's creating an awareness for you. It's not necessarily stating that this is going to be the outcome, this is the fact, but it is giving you an opportunity to look at what may be presenting itself, what we may need to correct right now, or we need to plan for, prepare for, whatever. And when those thoughts come, you allow those thoughts to lead when you start to give them energy. When you don't correct it immediately, or when you don't sit with it to understand why the thought presented itself in the first place. These are very uncomfortable things to do, but they are also very necessary to do, because you cannot ignore the negative thought and just say, hey, it's going to go away, because it's not. It may go away for a moment, but it's going to present itself again in the future. And if you don't already have a response prepared on how to deal with a certain reaction or a certain thought, it's going to go ahead and form into a feeling. And we don't realize how many times that what that impact of a feeling. It may not go into the full feeling, but if it can even get you just a little bit, you just dip your toe in the water, sort of say, then it's dropping off of just a droplet of energy, and eventually there's going to be something that is very close to your heart that's connected to that thought, that it's going to finally, all of those droplets that dropped over time are going to be full force in your face. And this could be the one time where you say, I'm not good enough, in so many times, but you brush it off. And then now you get that job, or you get an opportunity of a lifetime that comes to you, but because you have so many droplets of saying that I'm not worthy, when that opportunity presents itself, you're gonna start feeling like, okay, well, no, 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 I'm not worthy, I'm not worthy, because that energy has been building up. Now, a lot of times these thoughts come into our mind because uncertainty. Anytime you're unsure about something and you have not sat down to get the appropriate clarity about something, it makes it easier for a thought to seem like it's real, like it's true. And then the thought starts to lead because you're giving it a little bit of a welcome, because there is some sort of belief on the inside of you that is stating that this is possible. And that is why whenever a negative thought comes into your mind, it is very important for you to catch it, check it, change it. That's my 3 method rule. You catch it, you check it, and you change it. And the more that you practice, I would say just starting off catching the thought. That's how I started. I started off just catching the thought. I didn't check it, I didn't change it, I didn't do any of that. But I said, hey, we're not going to think like that. We're not going to think like that. And I did that for a while. And then after a while of me doing that, I started to present myself with, this can also be possible. This can happen. This can happen. Because we limit ourselves. Like, the world is full of so many possibilities. And for it to even come on the surface of your mind means that it is something that is available to you. But we write off a lot of things that are available to us because of something that we thought in the past, experienced in the past, told ourselves in the past, things like that. And so now it's hard for us to understand and embrace the fact that something else could be possible for us. And really, negative thoughts come from negative experiences, and what the body needs in order for it to release that thought is to have new experiences. You could be told no so many times, but once you finally get that yes, you know that it's possible for you. But you will never know that something is possible for you if you don't allow the yes to present itself. You're gonna get no's. You're gonna be disappointed. You're gonna be rejected. All of that is a part of life. That is what happens. I don't know anybody on this world who has not experienced disappointment, who has not experienced rejection. The thing that separates them from people who consistently experience it is that they stop allowing the possibility of a disappointment or a rejection to be something that's the only thing that's possible for them. You have to change the internal narrative of what you're telling yourself. Whatever you're telling yourself, that is what it's going to be. Why? Because now your brain is going to scan for what you said to bring it into your life, the law of attraction. So you're going to keep attracting things into your life based upon what you're saying, what you're thinking. And for a while, I didn't feel like I was in control of my thoughts. I feel like they were kind of on autopilot and they would just pop up. And I think that happens with most people. And the best thing to do when you're dealing with anything like that is to, one, I had to accept a lot of things that happened in my life, and not accepting it as it was something bad that happened to me, but as an awareness that this is something that is sensitive to me. This is something that triggers me. And it's okay. It's okay to have a trigger. But just because something feels bad, or it seems bad, or it triggers you, does not mean that you're not worthy of something, or you're not capable, or you don't have the capacity. It's more than anything that you have an awareness of that thing so that you know how to respond. And as the mind receives new evidence of what's possible, so will it receive new thoughts. So will the perspective change. And that is the biggest thing. I think I cut myself off earlier, but the biggest difference between people who consistently experience disappointment and those who experience it but still see some sort of victory is the perspective has to change. And the biggest way and the most reasonable way for your perspective to change is for you to start allowing yourself to have new experiences. So feeling fear, feeling shame, feeling embarrassment, all of this, and still doing the things anyway. Because just because something happened 10 years ago does not mean it's going to happen like that now. And if we live in a constant mind frame of things don't change for me, things can't change for you because you're not giving there enough, you're not making room for the energy for it to actually change. So I hope this talk helped someone today. If you could leave me down below, what do you want to hear? What are you interested in learning about your thoughts? What are some challenges that you're dealing with? Because I've dealt with a little bit of everything, and I'm trying to speak out and just help people, let you know that you're not alone. Because for a while I really felt alone in my negative thoughts, and that is nothing but a trick and a trap of the mind where your brain is perceiving things to be something that it's not. But anywho, check out the podcast Soul Said So. It's going to be coming to you every Wednesday with more topics like this. But until next time.